So before we get started on episode 1 of our new series from AWR, All Wrongs Reserved, our new series is called Listen Here,
Motherfucker.
Correct.
Yeah.
Listen Here, Motherfucker. This is episode 1. Now, next week, we will return to our normal kind of show. History, teachings, entertainment, education, funny. This Listen Here, Motherfucker series is really going to be a series that is from time to time. It won't be weekly. It might be bi-weekly. It might be monthly. We don't know. Just whenever it makes sense.
Whenever we feel like it.
Well, whenever we need to say, listen here, motherfucker. Right?
Yeah.
So this one, this week, is just a preface. We love Ouija Macc, Chapter 17. Cannot wait for
Can't wait. It's just going to be fast.
Stale Wind.
Ooh.
August 5th, I believe.
Yeah, August 5th.
August 5th.
Yep.
Go pre-order that shit.
Pre-order it.
We have a 5-star review. 5 of them.
5.
But until then, check us out, because we do have something to say about this Alligator Jesus shit that's been going on.
Yeah.
And wait till the end, and if you hate us, hate us. If you agree with us, whatever you want to do.
Let us know.
But welcome to Listen Here, Motherfucker.
Yeah.
And let's hit the intro. Boom.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Yes.
Then you know what I'm saying.
Yes. What?
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
You're closed, motherfucker.
It didn't work, man. I'm still alive, motherfucker. That's right. You can't kill me, motherfuckers.
Well, it is all wrongs reserved,
Yes, sir.
always. Except for, speaking of wrongs, we got a lot of right going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Legit.
Yes, sir. Legit.
And made by someone interesting, too, that we'll get into on this one.
Oh, yeah.
The moon will rise forever. Chapter 17 for life, homies.
Chapter 17.
Got the old... Chapter 17. got the Vault boy on today. Some lazy and crazy. It's just been a lazy and... frankly crazy Sunday in the Juggalo community.
So.
This is part of a new new series.
That's right.
Right, from away from our normal show.
Right, away from the talk time.
Away from the talk time where we educate, fun, good listening, easy listening.
Yeah, easy listening.
This is different. This series is called Listen Here, Motherfucker. And it is where Bryce and I discuss things where we feel the text format in the museum, or this Juggalo page, or this situation in life, or that just doesn't do justice.
Yeah.
And we feel like, listen here, motherfucker, and then we will articulate.
Absolutely.
So simply, welcome to episode uno. See, I got my Spanish there.
Yeah, you know uno.
Episode uno of Listen Here, Motherfucker. So episode 1. Now this is interesting because this is something that you and I have been aware of, talked about for a couple months now.
Oh, yeah.
Today, the one and only Ouija Macc, the Mac Man, Eric, Little Gary, Little Terry, Leonard Bramble Bush, his nephew or something, posted something interesting today on Facebook, and I don't know if he posted on any of his other social, but we got it right here. We're going to start with what Ouija had to say today, and then we're going to dive on into it. So, here, we'll put it up on your screen here. So, bang. And Bryce, go ahead and narrate for me.
Yeah, so earlier today, Ouija said the following. Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope introduced me to David, a.k.a. Alligator Jesus, as their jeweler. And since that day, this man has been nothing but good to us. Has never done us wrong. Has made jewelry for my children and for myself. He has made jewelry for Jay and Shaggy and their families, and countless Juggalos who have told me they've had an amazing experience doing custom jewelry with him. Recently, people have been claiming he has ripped them off. I suspect this is not true, but I would like to see proof of this from anyone who really believes they were wronged. And by proof, I mean concrete proof, not screenshots of people making empty accusations. I would also like to hear from people who have had a positive experience with AJ, Alligator Jesus. Let's see the real truth come out. Seems to me like people are trying to hate on Alligator Jesus because he's successful and has a great relationship with Psychopathic Records and Chapter 17. I'm here to tell you that he doesn't need our business. He does jewelry for Beyonce and Madonna and Lil Nas X and countless other large entities. AJ, Alligator Jesus, only does Juggalo jewelry because he loves our culture and has been a Juggalo since the 90s. Old school Juggalo. Mm-hmm. Also, if you want an alternative to Alligator Jesus, you can always hit up D-Town Custom Jewelry, who does amazing work for the fam as well. Also a certified Juggalo and has been approved to produce Hatchetman and C-17 customs.
Okay, so if you don't mind, let me take this away, and then I want you to definitely chip in here as we get into our personal story here.
Absolutely.
And kind of come back to what's going on right now.
Yeah.
So first of all, what I would say is straight up a statement to Ouija, to little Eric, the homie. And dude, when we say homie, our closets are filled with it.
Yep.
It rains diamonds off our chest. We are about Chapter 17.
Absolutely.
And even this guy here in the beginning couldn't. He's so old school. Boom Bap 101 might as well be his masterclass, and I mean that in a complimentary way. He's a rapper himself. But the point is that Ouija has done a fantastic job. Ouija, you've done a fantastic job.
Oh yeah, wonderful.
Of growing, winning over people I didn't think you ever could.
Right.
Even now I may not be the quadruple duple OG that Alligator Jesus is, but I do go back to the family era in the early 2000s, 19, 20 years now. I'm 33. So you can only get into it so young. I mean, I'm my first generation and my only generation in my family, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you're my second, if there was such a thing. But the point is, dude, we love you to bits. We love Chapter 17. We love what it stands for. We love what you stand for.
Yep.
We love that when we get packages from you, in there's always a note from you. It's not hand signed necessarily, but it's clearly you make a point of it to connect with your customers.
Yep.
And your family. You know, that's what makes it feel like family versus customers.
Absolutely.
So let me just be very clear that I think I speak on behalf of both of us, that it is nothing but salutes and respect to Ouija.
Absolutely.
How much he's grown as an artist, what he represents, what he can carry forward for the Juggalos, what he's already done,
right?
What Stalewind has the ability to be with his run. I haven't seen a run like this since DMX's 5-year run.
Yeah.
And what did he say? All I need is a 5-year run. If I don't get that, fuck it, let me die near a gun.
Yeah.
Well, my man has decided to keep pushing forward past that. We couldn't be more proud. So, you know, not being on his nuts, but we just really want to express that I think it's fair that we just both say that we love that dude.
Absolutely. And, you know, like Corey just mentioned, like you just mentioned, man, like, you know, for me, obviously, I was not a big fan at first. It took me some convincing. It took me right until I heard Dirtbag.
Dirtbag.
Yeah, it took me Dirtbag. But ever since, I have been such a big fan of this man. Love his grind. Love the content he's put out, all the bars, and how he tweaks his voice. And, you know, Ouija, we got a lot of mad love for you, brother. Mad love.
And the reason it's very important that we mention this, first of all, is there seems to be a lot of popularity contests going on in the Juggalo community.
Yep.
And in the Juggalo YouTube community, which apparently it's bad to talk about now, so much of it is toxic.
Yeah.
CPN did this, Blase did that, what's her name, Roxy whatever the fuck did this or that. It's just, the motherfuckers set the ceiling so low for themselves. So we really like to talk about other things. But today, this is a drama alert that that is very personal to us.
Yeah.
So with that said, it is all love to you, and there's not a but, it's an and. There's no but, it's an and. What we would have to say is and with that Ouija, Eric, whatever you prefer to be called, the Mac Man. Here's the truth. Alligator Jesus, Dave, David, Mr. Los Angeles or Miami, wherever you want to catch him, has fucked over dozens of Juggalos.
Yeah.
Now, we know, based on the way you've presented it in a way that, short of receipts and I don't know what else you would want, but you want it to be proven to you beyond a doubt. And I get that.
Right.
I get that. But then, on the other token, You want to hear positive comments about the man without the same receipts.
Exactly. Like
because that's the truth. There's a lot of people would tell you this, my man Ouija. He produced the 2018 DCGs. They're one of the most valuable silver Hatchetmans, if not the most valuable silver Hatchetman in existence.
Yeah.
And down the line will only continue to hold their value.
Right.
I think, this is something Chris Foster would tell you.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the one-off Mr. Rotten Treats, the old schools, I'm talking about Hatchetmans.
Yeah.
That 18 that he produced, it's just cold-cut chillin'. To quote you. It's a great piece. There's no doubt he's a real jeweler that creates real things. But you seem to want to hear positive and don't want to hear the reality of dozens, and I do mean dozens of people that got uniquely and specifically ripped off. And I think the way to start, and he may have tuned out by now, it doesn't matter, but this is for the Juggalos, all of us.
Yep.
And again, we love you, dog, but we're just trying to show you some things here and talk with you. Look, man, I know it started for us with this. We entered a waffle, otherwise known as a raffle.
Right.
For 2003, and you see, we're not, some of them aren't out here, but I mean, we know our silver. Both the Chapter 17s, by the way, that are made by Alligator Jesus. Also, they're totally real. I've had them tested. Didn't need to. I can tell based on the weight and mass. Test them myself. But look, here's an 03. So we were in a waffle for this. This is a 2003 charm. Now the guy who held this waffle didn't know any better.
Yeah, he didn't know at all.
Because, frankly, this would fool a lot of people. Because they're just barely magnetic.
Right.
But 925 silver is almost 93% silver, and then it usually has some steel to help give it some strength. Because silver, like gold in its pure form, is often very soft.
Right.
So sterling silver, that's why silverware is made out of sterling, so it's a bit tougher.
Yeah.
Getting into our story, we're in this waffle, we win it, we're so happy we get it. And I think to myself, this is 19 years old and it's in this good a shape.
Right.
The bail feels very... It's just not there. You feel the bail of any other charm and it just doesn't have the weight.
In comparison, it doesn't feel the same.
And it just feels a little light. It feels feels keychainy.
Yeah.
It feels keychainy.
Very good way to put it.
Okay? So, sure enough, it wasn't that I was being pessimistic or cynical. It was just logical that knowing from Chris Foster, Marshall Hill, several others that have had hundreds of charms in their possessions, that 03s are flat out dangerous.
Right.
So I got it tested. What this came back to, and I don't know how well the camera will focus on this. I think after we'll just get pictures and then insert them.
Right.
But I scraped it myself there. It's brass. It had each feet and the hair tested. It was acid tested there on the bicep. It has the thinnest layer of, and we're talking like human hair thickness or less.
Right.
Of dirty shit silver on it, which is why it has this weird version of tarnish on it.
Yeah.
And then it's just brass. It's bullshit. Some people would say that, and we got some of this, because when we posted this stuff, that we didn't even name names of who we got it from.
Yeah, not at all.
And we I personally tracked this thing's lineage a long way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what some people fail to realize. Before we get into Alligator Jesus, let me explain something that should be really easy for anyone to understand. Something you and I understood from the beginning.
Yeah.
Alligator Jesus aside for a second. If there is this good a fake out there, first of all, who would be really good at making a fake?
Exactly. Who else?
A jeweler.
Yeah.
Sounds like a person who'd be good at that.
Exactly.
Number two, if I know it's fake, what kind of a person would I be to then sell this in waffle? And funny enough, we still had people saying, "No, your jeweler's wrong."
Right, yeah, a bunch of people.
Here's $150. No, that's why I scratched up the back so that it can never go back into circulation.
Right.
Now, if you're wondering, well, how did they have this tested? How do they know? 3 things. Number one, when this all blew up for us in our lives the way it did, which we weren't really asking for, we were just trying to put out there as information. First of all, I stayed up from 3 a.m. until about, I think it was 10 or 10:30 a.m.
I think 11 a.m.
11, yeah, something like that. It was 7-8 hours straight.
Yeah.
I read an entire book on Amazon about silver. For example, I've even taught my homie here.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 countries that silver's mined out of, Bryce?
That would be Mexico, Peru, and China.
Correctamundo, sir. So you can learn a lot by actually taking some time to read about the few precious metals there are.
Yep.
Silver's rather incomplicated. It's very heavy, meaning more it has mass. It has a density to it. And it's also very soft. This failed scratch tests on all parts of it. Here we'll show right here just on the screen real quick. Bruggen Jewelers, 4.5 stars. It was taken there and tested 2 different ways.
Yes, sir.
And again, here I took it to, this is where it gets special. And again, we'll get better pictures if we can. I know it won't show on video, but inside the bicep here, I had it then acid tested because some people still didn't believe that it was fake.
Exactly.
By the one and only Wixon Jewelers, which is a Rolex specialty dealer. There ain't nothing in their shop under, I mean, there's some stuff in 4 figures, but most of it's 5 figures and up. Rolexes, I mean, and here's a few clips from Wixon Jewelers of what they look like. They are guarded by a cop with an M16, AR-15 style, you know, they're heavily guarded.
Yeah, they guarded like a motherfucker.
They got 2 cop cars, squad cars sitting outside. All their serious business.
Yeah.
So the point is as I'm now exhausted, I've taken it to 2 jewelers to prove. I don't know why. I felt hurt in a way. Like instead of oh sorry you got fucked. Let's you know. It was this onslaught of people from one specific camp of supporters.
Yeah.
And I had already heard the name Alligator Jesus. I had already heard dozens of how he used people's charms to create molds, sent them back fakes, sent them back bullshit, ripped them off, which, we'll get to his comments later, but let's just say it's true. It just is. So dozens, and again, of reputable people. So that was our personal experience. I think the first thing we should share here is someone who, and Ouija, I know this won't do it for you, but we think that we should keep certain people's name private if it was in private messages.
Absolutely.
If it was in public, fuck it, your name is going to show up. But in private, a guy who's known him 25 plus years, goes back to his days and all that. We're editing out his name, but here on the screen, go ahead and read for him from conversation. And this was weeks and weeks ago, before today happened.
Yep.
So go ahead, read that shit for him.
So yeah, this is from late April.
We'll call him Malcolm, our friend Malcolm.
Yeah. So our buddy Malcolm, Corey reached out to him. This is late April from what you can see on the screenshot here.
Yeah.
So he reached out to Malcolm, said, "Need my monthly dose of help from you. Myself and Bryce recently won a 03 Hatchetman in what appears to be in great shape. I've learned from you and others, 03 is the most faked, so what's the best way to tell if it's legit? I truly feel it is. But is there any dead giveaway one way or another? Won't have it in my hands for a few days, but figured I'd ask you." And our buddy Malcolm said, "Totally. Just put it next to a string or strong magnet. If it's legit, it won't stick at all."
Let me pause you right there real quick. Hold your spot. But first of all, Juggalos actually can understand how magnets work sometimes. So we're coming back to me here real quick.
Yeah.
In here. And we do actually understand how they work. And one of the things about silver, wouldn't you know it, it conducts electricity incredibly. It's why it's in it's why it's in our cell phones, our cars, computers, etc.
Yeah.
But it is not magnetic. Brass, on the other hand, that is. Other bimetals, they are.
Yep.
Now, this thing doesn't stick like wonk, but it should. Silver, any of these other ones here, including these 2 Chapter 17s, 0 magnet stick whatsoever.
Right.
This one, remember? Flap.
Yep, it kept
flap. An old refrigerator magnet was grabbing onto the face of it.
Yeah.
Okay? So anyway, back up on the screen here. Go back to read.
So our buddy Malcolm, put it next to a strong magnet. If it's legit, it won't stick at all. They're fresh charms. They just scared the hell out of me. Damn Alligator Jesus faked a bunch back in the day.
Okay. Do you have another one from him?
I do.
And just a reminder, this is a guy that I've known for 3-4 years myself.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't call me his best friend. He's got so many friends. Again, there's a lot of popularity and notoriety in this game, which he deserves. By the way, this guy is. Let's just say, he's not but money in my book. He's a great guy.
Right.
And he's honest.
Yep.
And the people he knows. The people he doesn't. And he's straightforward. Right. So anyway, 25 years he's known this guy in a personal capacity.
Right.
So go on.
So after our buddy mentioned that, Corey, you replied back to him, a magnet, huh? That makes sense as to it being silver. I mean, who would bother making fake that it is actually 925 silver? I'm pretty good at spotting and feeling silver with as much as I've had, but I'm sure I could still be fooled, so I would definitely do that, testing and go for magnet.
Yeah, which is then we did the magnet, it failed that, we felt uncomfortable, which led us going to, me going to Brueggen's.
Yeah.
And then, first I read that book all night.
Yeah.
And then I went to Brueggen's, and then I went to Wixon Jewelers, which is, both are 4.5 5-star places. These aren't hole-in-the-wall places. They were tested in front of me, both scrape for surface and acid tested. And then also just taking a plain old, this is a real one, 2001, just taking a good old-fashioned screwdriver to it there.
Right.
You can see the poopy brassness of it that's already turning. So here's the thing, man. Ouija, I hope you're still watching now. I imagine you're probably not. Again, it's all love. Good luck with the show tomorrow and all that. We got more to go, but we understand that to you the proof you want, I don't think you'll be convinced. But listen, man, when you have dozens, and I'm talking dozens,
oh my God,
of juggalos that have the same finger in the same direction over the same thing in the same years. He also did a few other years as well.
Yeah.
03 is notorious. Like I said, there are some people who say, oh, that's just how psychopathic made them.
Right, I remember reading that when we originally
Here's
did
the problem. I've seen a legitimate 03 twice in front of my face.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple tested on video.
Yep.
So even if you then want to say, well, some of them are pure good, whatever, like Nicholas Foster was saying, and some of them are bull, like, there's still fraud there. So, so at that point, all that's left is you're saying, okay, well, ICP produced 03 charms that are totally bullshit, and either they're stupid or committed fraud.
Exactly.
And the bottom line is that there's fraud there. This is the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand about precious metals. Precious metals are defined in a certain way, and when you put a 925 stamp on something, if it is not that, and it's found out that it's not that, and can go back to a company, it's fraud.
Exactly.
You're committing a crime. You know, you're not faking a Pokemon card.
Yeah.
Okay? You're faking a piece of precious metal. And I thought it was interesting, we'll get to this later, how Alligator Jesus said, you know, the values of these things really are what we make of them.
Oh.
And that's because he knows that in reality, like here's a real one, here's a 2020, this is only about 16, 18 bucks worth of silver, but its value is 200 plus any fucking day of the week. I mean, coming up to the gathering, everything's low, but ordinary market, I saw these going 250, 300 6 months ago, you know? So they're sure some of that's true, but you know that, and I think you took advantage of people that way, especially how much some of the stories line up with, oh, well, no wonder he made a perfect bullshitter.
Right.
You know, so let's get on, though. I know that some people are going to be mad over this, but we ain't even close to done.
Yeah, we ain't done, y'all. We ain't done.
We let go a lot of the bullshit people wanted to put towards us personally.
Right.
And a lot of that got worked out. But listen, folks, I mean, it again, both Chapter 17 charms are made by Alligator Jesus, and they're great because they're real, and he is a jeweler, and he does know how to make real charms. Again, to the 2018 DCG, which is beautiful, worth tons of money. That doesn't mean that this guy didn't. Going with some of more from our friend Malcolm there. again, guy who knows him 25 plus years.
Right. So some more of what good old Malcolm said. He mentioned that he did a lot of good business with him back in the day, and that it sucks how he turned out.
Yeah. Okay. And also the notation of him having a coke problem for a while. And I remember saying to you, well, how could like Ouija was saying or implying, and the guy himself was saying, he doesn't need Juggalo money to get by. He's a legitimate jeweler. I believe you. But guess what?
I believe that too.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug. It costs a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
You could put one of these up your nose. I mean, if I were to get on one for a weekend, I could put a few of these up my nose in money. So could the rest of you out there.
Yeah.
And y'all know what I'm saying. So it's just, I understand wanting proof and stuff like that, but if Ouija, my man, if you are just now learning about these claims in the most respectful way possible, you are a fucking week late to the party on the reality of what this guy has done in the past. And look, Bryce and I are very forgiving people.
Absolutely.
I think all juggalos have made some massive, horrible, cruel mistake in their life that we either hide or we ask the world for forgiveness from.
Yeah.
I'm a recovering addict. I've not that was really a root of me doing bad, but just, that we've all had things.
Absolutely.
We've all had things, still do, most of us. But he doesn't apologize. He instead admits it and then is entirely passive-aggressive in the way he does so.
Oh, God, yeah.
So what that brings us to then next is I would like you to read, because it is public, the boy Legs, Chris Hines.
Oh, yes.
Read his comment. And then there was Skylar, which got deleted. We'll get into these, because we've got some of them saved. Some of them got deleted, some of them didn't.
Yep.
But go into Chris Hines, our man Legs. Again, Chris Hines, no offense, but this is public, so we're covering it because, one, we respect you so much and know your character and who you are as a salesman, and number two, your experience within this community.
Very experienced.
And knowledge.
Yep.
And number three, his ability to speak frankly and cleanly.
Yep, absolutely.
So go ahead, read what Chris Hines said on that same post by Ouija.
So, on that same post, Chris Hines, Legs, he mentioned, yeah, I bought a 99 Hatchetman charm off of him, Alligator Jesus. Come to find out it was a fake and not the real charm. It was plated. In return...
Oh, wait, hold on. Plated, kind of like... kind of like this?
Right, oh.
Like a really thin coat of silver over something that's not?
That's right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
In return, he tried to send me an old school size street team jacket to hush me up about the whole situation. I was cool with Alligator Jesus and almost bought a prototype from him at the Airbnb that we were staying at in New Orleans for Juggalo Day. I remember that pretty well because I let you into the Airbnb and greeted you, and you acted like I didn't even exist and walked right by me to go get...
for just a second.
Yeah.
It may have been a dick move for him or Ouija or whoever to blow off Chris Hines, but you mean this Juggalo Day? Just to make it clear, like, we're on our homework, we're on our P's and Q's, every video we do. This one's a bit different, where we're more calling things out, podcast, angry style, if you will.
Yeah.
Normally we do much more of a show, but just to be clear, I got this from Chris Hines.
Yeah.
This is who I got this from.
Yeah.
So he was there. So, I mean, it just... whatever Ouija wants is proof and receipts. I mean, maybe none of us can give it to him, and maybe that's, I guess, I know it can be hard to believe certain things about people you love in the past, and maybe he's great now, but you gotta acknowledge we did. Anyway, finish what Mr. Hines there said, please. I'm sorry. So I just had to show,
So
know the man.
Yeah, he said, I remember that pretty well. About being in New Orleans for Juggalo Day. I remember that pretty well because I let you into the Airbnb and greeted you, and you acted like I didn't even exist and walked right by me to go get your girl who was having her hair done in the other room. Pretty salty about that rudeness, but that's a different story. But Christian and Laney, and I'm very close with both of them, and Christian has his own accounts of Alligator Jesus scamming, but I would have to go back and grab screenshots if David, Alligator Jesus, didn't erase them. He blocked me after countless times of calling him out in a museum which he was banned from because people came forward with the same issues from him.
Exactly.
How about that?
And you know what? That leads me to something else. Bryce and I actually recently, not that anybody needs to give a fuck or care, believe me, because we don't either. We recently left the museum because of one bad admin. Just so you know, if you in the museum, we love you. Unless your name is one specific person and you happen to be that specific admin. I mean, odds are, even if you're there's a few people in there who are total dicks. They always just even that, we don't hate you. There's just one person that makes it insufferable.
Absolutely.
And it's like once a month, oddly.
Yeah. And always seems to find us for some particular reason.
I'll tell you.
Like we peed in his bed or shit in his Cheerios.
Yeah, or we just went up to his dog and just smacked it in the face.
Yeah.
Like, you know, let's just say I find Huey from The Boys more intimidating than him, and to put up a better argument than he does for himself in his behavior. You do realize I'm going to have to talk with the admins about having you removed now, right? Left a half hour ago, motherfucker.
And I wasn't too far behind, bitch.
Yeah. So anyway, that aside, the point is the museum is filled with a lot of very credible, great individuals, from Malcolm to Chris Hines and Pete Rodens, whose comment actually got deleted. Another very similar story for him. Ouija, I know you may not be watching anymore, whatever, but someone could cut this up, send it to him, pieces. Look, dude, you gotta look at, you know, if you want to treat this like a court of law, that's fine, but then you're gonna need to do a lot more to prove to people that someone's perfect.
Right.
You see, because that's the way this works. Nobody's perfect, and when the allegations are as consistent as they are, and as in depth from people who've known him 25 plus years. 25. And I know for a fact that dude ain't lying.
Oh yeah.
They're the same age. I mean, I'm just telling you, and I could throw his name out there for clout or whatever to be taken more seriously.
But we're not on that.
No, but it was a private conversation, so his name is not involved, just the pure facts. And then you have Chris Hines, another guy who, you know, if Alligator Jesus is a quadruple OG, double thuggy, you know, Chris Hines is at least a triple, if not a quad himself. Yeah. So he's to be taken seriously, and he was very polite there. I won't even get into the Ouija or whoever being rude to him stuff. We weren't there, whatever. Doesn't even fucking doesn't have nothing to do with this here. Because that's part of what people don't seem to understand, is that there's a difference between t-shirts. You know, I saw, you know, people, I think, I don't want to misquote Ouija, but I think he brought something up about other bootlegs and stuff. For example, not fucking with new metalsmiths. When it comes to new metalsmiths, the primary guy who runs it, he's not the whole thing, but he's the primary guy, Nicholas Foster, I've had an issue with for an awful long time, but at the same time, no issue with for a long time. Yeah. Meaning this guy crossed a bridge. We're talking about a type of comments that go beyond the internet. Yep. You know, I gotta be really careful here, but go beyond the internet, right? Yeah. But even then, I agree with him that it's in the past. And here's the thing I will say about new metalsmiths. They're 2.5, 3 years old. They've never, ever presented themselves. Here's the difference, my guy. Ouija, again, if you're watching, here's the difference, my guy. This charm says ICP 2003-925 on the back of it. Yeah. It's not from ICP, and it's not 925, and it sure as hell wasn't made in 2003.
Exactly.
So complete fraud, okay?
Fraud.
Now, New Metalsmiths, on the other hand, doesn't claim to be ICP. It doesn't have an ICP stamp. Right. It doesn't have a size stamp. Mm-hmm. It has a V1, a V2 neatly cut into it. They do their Malenko totally differently with the wand and the bird. Some of them I like more than the, authentic ones. Yeah. Some of them I like less. Mm-hmm. But they are as advertised. Exactly. They are as advertised. There are tons of companies that make rip-offs of their jerseys, their shirts. Yeah. So many. On and so forth. I mean, AliExpress alone. Ouija, that was what came to mind for me. Ouija, educate yourself about AliExpress if you haven't already. If you have already, that's fine. But if you haven't already, Because they're probably going to jump on C17 mighty soon.
I can see that happening for sure.
And all C17 jerseys will be $50.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying it's really a flattering thing.
Right.
Now, you got to be ICP, as far as I can remember back, has always been the most lenient with letting people do what they want with their interpretation or feeling of the Joker's cards.
Yeah.
You know, within some reason.
Absolutely.
Of course. So, like, for example, ICP and Psychopathic go to great lengths. This jersey originally came from Billy Bill himself to our friend Malcolm here, which then was won by someone else, and that someone else traded it to me.
Yep.
You can see that the patch here is wavy with the stitching. Over here you have a straight patch on the chain, but the blue side is all stitching, no patch. The face has stitching on this side, but patch on this side. The point is that they go to lengths to make it so that you can tell the difference between a real and a booty.
Right. Very
all the way
distinguishable.
down to the little stripes that you see within the Hatchetmans.
Yeah.
On any Vault jersey or the patch here. So they go to great lengths, and you can tell the difference with a half-trained eye.
Right.
Right? Or a friend that has a good trained eye.
Exactly.
For that matters. Stuff like that. So booty, it depends what you want to call booty. If they're straightforward telling you, you know, we're a Juggalo operated brand.
Right.
We are also jewelers of a caliber that produce what we call quality, and others seem to really enjoy. Because I've seen a lot of new metalsmiths charms out there.
Right.
They, from every piece of knowledge I've gathered, their stuff always tests as advertised. For example, 925.
Right.
The ruby is a ruby. They are as advertised. It would be different if they slapped Psychopathic or ICP on there.
Yeah, that's a whole nother realm.
The second they do that, it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
But there's NMS carved in the back on every one.
Exactly.
So if you want to go after new metalsmiths, you got to go after everybody. And frankly, I'm okay with that. Go after all the bootleggers. If that's what it is, go after all the bootleggers. But then understand that Alligator Jesus, and again, this is really a comment again for Ouija personally, through love but truth. Dog, you can afford to buy insane shit for your kids, for you. Same with Joe and Joey for them and their kids. The one you got around your neck on a daily basis, this was $200 to me, plus shipping $220 something. The one you got looks like 20 grand.
Yeah.
If not 50 grand.
Fuck yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Why would he fake that?
Right, especially for someone who's putting money into his pocket.
It's silly, and also no one has accused him of making fake. Not like this. Not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Fake C17s.
Right.
These have been tested by tons of people.
Oh,
why?
Yeah.
Because when people found out they were being made by Alligator Jesus, they just had to find out.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you for a fact, had both these tested. Not for that reason, just because after I got curious about the 03, I tested all my stuff to find out where it was at. 2001, like C17, fake 03. Thank you, AJ. 2020, 2021 V1, 2021 V2, Carnival of Carnage on his neck.
Carnival of Carnage.
The point is you live and you learn.
Yeah.
And if someone wants, if you're going to define booty, then you also have to accept that Alligator Jesus not only created booty, but deceived and ripped Juggalos off. And it really frustrates me to see you in your own comments trying to gatekeep for him in a way that is, you have to prove above and beyond, even with dozens of people claiming the same, very similar or same things.
Yeah.
But I want to hear positive things about him.
Right. And
and remember, he's so famous that he's done all this work for this. Why would he need compliments from us Juggalos?
Right.
You know, it just, I have to tell you, man, that shit sounds corny as fuck. That's the only thing, and I mean that in the most brotherly way. That one part just seems corny as fuck. So now let's get into what AJ actually said. And tell me what you think too, man. I've been narrating a lot.
Yeah, and I was just gonna add to what you said. Like, it's really, really mind-boggling and fucking disappointing that again, Ouija, we love you, man, but it's really boggling to think that everyone has to go above and beyond with all this proof when it's been said for many years.
This has been
plenty of accounts.
I would say 4 years I've known about this.
Yeah, that sounds about right when you first brought it up to me.
I would say 3 dozen minimum identical or very similar stories that are in the same realm of jackery.
Exactly.
You've heard probably a dozen yourself just in comments.
Yep.
Before today.
Yeah.
And that's before getting into today.
Yeah, and it's really mind-boggling and disappointing. Like, one thing you and I have always said, or you've put me onto, is think for yourself. And Ouija, I really implore you to think for yourself in this matter. And yes, the man puts money in your pocket by going to you for these charms, but I advise you to really take in everything you're seeing versus just saying you need all this high and mighty proof. Usually when someone says something enough, there's some truth to it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Vince McMahon's situation, brother.
Yeah.
And look, we love wrestling right here.
Yeah,
we
fuck
love
yeah.
wrestling
I
here,
mean, well, that's AEW shit, but yeah, we love wrestling.
There's no doubt that with him gone, one less thumb will go up a butthole.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crude, but just keeping it real, brother.
Yeah.
It's all wrongs reserved, and, you know, kind of fuck what you think, too. So, but no, going on, I want you to read his first and then his second comment, Mr. David Alligator Jesus here. And by the way, I did reach out to Ouija a month or two back about this, just asking politely what he knew about the guy, etc. Very kind. And I can show those in the comments if I need be after or whatever. He didn't get back to me, which is understandable. Probably 1,000 fans hit him up a day. I get it. No worries, brother. No harm, no foul. I also hit up a lot of other people, and that's where you get, just go on to read what he says here, and I'm going to interrupt as we go. We kind of talked about this.
Yeah, you want me to go with the long apology or the short one?
Go with the first one, then the second one.
Okay, perfect.
He has 2 different comments.
Yep. So
these are Alligator Jesus.
Yes. So the first comment from Alligator Jesus was in reply to a comments that Skylar Young had mentioned. I believe that was one of the ones we read off.
My man.
So, yep. So Alligator Jesus replied to a comment from Skylar Young saying, "My bad to anyone who was wronged directly or indirectly by me and feels bitter."
Pause. Right there. My bad to anybody who was harmed by me directly or indirectly.
Oh.
Ouija, what we call that is an admission of guilt.
Yep.
What plane of existence would you have to be on to say, hey, I'm sorry for how I harmed you directly or indirectly,
right,
and yet I didn't harm the person? I'm just saying, man, English language, like, it's these people tend to tell on themselves, and
absolutely.
He'll show through a little bit of egomania here too with it. And, I'd be willing. I invited the guy sending messages to have a chat with us, a real one. Have a real chat, and let's put it to bed.
Yeah.
Because we are about forgiveness. Like, if you just, I was going through a tough time, I had this drug problem, or I had this going on, or I was bent out of shape on this, or whatever the fuck. People will forgive you, man.
Yeah.
They will. But go on. He admits wrongdoing right away.
Yeah, right away.
Go on.
So, to continue on, I'd address everything, but some claims are so wild, I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Don't address them, and address the ones that are extremely consistent. Continue.
I've got nothing but love for my Juggalo family, and clearly some people would much rather hold on to drama, and speaking my truth would only leave me exhausted.
Pause. Okay. You're saying people want to hold on to drama. If you are an average Juggalo, $200, $300, things like that, that's a lot of money.
Fuck yeah, it is.
I mean, we've done all right for being in our early 30s and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, these we'll get to this more later, but we don't have 25 charms. We've got a nice collection.
Yeah.
But it is all hard worked for.
Right.
So, when you say bitterness, it comes down to that you took people out their pockets, bro.
Yeah.
This isn't a song, homie. And straight up to Ouija, this isn't the song Spring Valley where you hit another lick, he was puking on his bitch. Like, that could be someone else who went wrong. You understand? Like, this dude has fucked people.
Yeah.
And
With no Vaseline.
Yeah, with no Vaseline. And he's just admitted it in his first sentence.
Yeah.
So, but no, go ahead, continue.
But fact is, I'm doing everything with consciousness and extreme effort to hold myself to the highest standard of integrity for everything that I do. Yeah.
So you admit to doing wrong, directly and indirectly, apparently.
Yeah.
You're so lethal. And yet, people are just bitter, and certain stories are so crazy that you shouldn't address the real ones. And
it's mind-boggling to me, too.
It just sounds like the worst typed, like the worst lawyer.
It sounds worse than Travis Scott's interview with
Oh
Charlamagne.
my God, that's you know, we're gonna use a clip from that right here. Him looking like, this is you, Alligator Jesus. This is what you sound like.
I've been on about like different type of like emotions, you know, emotional roller coaster. I mean, it gets so hard because, you know, I always felt like connected with my fans. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I went through something, you know, and I feel like fans went through something.
Dude, for real, no, the jokes aside, I mean, we like to have fun and stuff, but this one has been so much needed. And, you know, we'll say this probably 1 or 2 or 3 more times. All love for Ouija.
Yep.
All love for Chapter 17.
Absolutely.
All love for the Juggalos.
Hell yeah.
But not the ones I've fucked over directly or indirectly, but you're bitter and it's not my fault.
Doing everything with consciousness.
Everything with conscious...
integrity.
It just sounds ridiculous.
It really does.
So now go on to his number 2. So you have direct admission there, and that's screenshotted. It's right there. It'll have been on your screen as Bryce read it.
Oh boy, so here comes the big long apology. This gets kind of interesting here. This gets interesting to me because it's the most passive aggressive version of. Well, I'll just let you read it. I'll let you do what you do best. All right, so this one we actually saw as recent as about a half hour before we started filming. Half hour,
like an hour ago or so.
Yeah, so this was semi-recent. So. Alright, so his big response. I know some people love me, some people hate me. Most people just wish to have a dope time at shows and hang with family. Fact is, I'm an old school juggalo who has nothing but love and respect for every one of you.
Pause that right there. What does you being an old school juggalo and the fact of people wanting to enjoy shows have to do with your reputation? It seems like he's trying to create this figure of himself. I'm an old school juggalo. I've been to all the shows. I've been around you. I'm your family.
Yeah, I'm your friend.
It's like the guy who cozies up next to you just before he slips it in.
Yep.
You know, it really,
That's a great way of putting it.
I'm sorry, bro, but you're Amber hurting the fuck out of this one, homie. And Ouija, yeah, my dog stepped on a bee. We love you, Ouija, but you need to hear this. Go on.
That's effective. Fact is, I'm an old school juggalo who has nothing but love and respect for every one of you and hopes you all can enjoy life and not get caught up in drama.
Well, money matters to some of us, you know, especially with 10% inflation.
Money makes the world go round.
Yeah, just saying, but whatever. Go ahead.
Life is so fleeting and precious. Time is wasted on holding grudges. Hell, I've moved on from literally the most devastating financial blow of my career when a client didn't pay me for 100+ silver and gold charms I produced, packaged, and mailed to their customers in time for Christmas.
Okay, pause that real quick. So, for me, wait, so you made 100 silver, let's just call it 50-50. 50 silver charms and 50 gold charms for a person that made the mold and made the product and sent them out. I'm guessing 10K gold, probably not 14K, right?
Yeah.
10K, which goes for about 30 something a gram.
Yeah. 30
a gram or so. And then the silvers, which, you know, we know go for around 200 flat of any charm really these days.
Yeah.
You sent out 100, so 50-50 as we're calling, just to split it.
Yeah.
without receiving payment for at least the precious metals portion.
Right.
So that the most you could be out was your time, which we get is valuable.
Oh, yeah, we get
Jesus.
that.
We get it's valuable.
Yeah.
You're a great jeweler. That's part of what makes this so disgusting. But you're trying to act like you just made... Like, can I get 50 gold charms and 50 silver charms?
Right, let's get some.
Yeah, we promise we'll pay you, dog.
Yeah.
We promise we'll pay you, dog. I just have to point out, it's just ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous. Go on, though. You're the best narrator.
Packaged and mailed to their customers in time for Christmas. That's y'all. We assign value to these objects based on our emotional connection to music, memories, and the culture we are all a part of.
Pause. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And it's also simply called supply and demand.
Yep.
For example, a 2001 Hatchetman has a lot more demand because there's a lot of people that would like to have it and a certain number of them available, especially in remotely good condition, which is what collectors usually enjoy. So again, he's skirting around something that is so simple by trying to fluff it.
Right.
Go on.
We assign value to these objects based on our emotional connection to music, memories, and the culture we are all a part of. It's a delicate dance that artists like Ouija, ICP, and myself tread to satisfy ourselves artistically and also provide a product that our fans want. With regard to me making pieces for the Juggalo community, it's merely messy because I have been a part of the Juggalo family long before Gathering of the Juggalos 2001.
Puffing himself. See the fluff?
Oh yeah, that big fluff.
Like
big
you're
fluff.
like it's almost like a "you're welcome, motherfuckers."
Right. Here's what I've done for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I.
Go on.
Long before Gathering of the Juggalos 2001, when Dark Lotus first performed the song that started what continues in my mind as this new era in my life, where I began calling you all what you are to me, my family. So, I'm not an outside vendor. So many of you have had a personal connection.
No one said he was an outside vendor. He chose to take on that independent work himself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So many of you have had a personal connection with the man behind the production of your most sacred totems and sort of status symbol of your identity as a Juggalo.
Stop right there. So he just fluffed himself so much that he is a part of the status symbol and the man behind the mask.
Right.
Like he's Morton. Like when we all know that's Jump Steady, by the way.
Yeah.
But like he's Morton behind. He's the face behind the wraith that you can't see on. The fluffing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
In our most prized, was it not possessions? What was the word he used?
Sacred totems.
Sacred totems.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now. Just getting it real. My dog. But I collect firearms. I love going target shooting with my father. I love going target shooting with Bryce.
Yep.
And if you just want to get down to, get a little play on words here, brass tacks, I have things that are more valuable to me. I appreciate the sentiment, but since you're going to fluff yourself, I'm just going to tell you I appreciate the sentiment.
Right.
I guess that's the best way I can say it, and I'll just leave it at that. No, but really though, that's some audacity, just assuming you are the most precious thing in that Juggalo's life.
Right, and then the sacred totems, like what?
Nicka, please. You know, I just had to hit. I said it with the Nicka. I said it Stephen A. style. Nicka, please. I just go on.
It's why Billy Bill approached me after a show and asked me to make the charms and not the other way around. Now, Steve, I'm gonna pause myself. Now, as you mentioned before we started even filming, how would it be the other way around? That's the confusing part. Like you mentioned before we started filming.
Read the sentence again. How much it doesn't make sense.
It's why Billy Bill approached me after a show and asked me to make the charms and not the other way around.
So, I guess what he's trying to say is Billy Bill asked him to make the charms versus him going to Billy Bill to ask him to make the charms for them. Okay, dude, business, here's the way business works. Person wants product. They go to person or company that creates or can supply product to them.
Right.
The other, what you're speaking of the other way around, is what's called a Mormon. Those are the people who come to your door and knock on it and try to shove shit down your throat. If you had went to Billy Bill or anybody else begging to make the charms, you would have looked like a fucking clown and not the cool kind, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it didn't make sense to me until I wrote, and I was like, oh, that's what he means. And it's even more pathetic.
Yeah, it really is.
Who does that?
I don't get that shit.
Are there people that go up to Jay-Z and beg him to make his next music video and then actually do it?
I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't.
Of course.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
You're the one doing it. If you want 1,000 charms made, or 10,000, you're going to go find the person to do it. Of course he's going to ask. If you were doing great at the time and all that, putting out great pieces and well-known, like you claim, and all that stuff, which I'm not really debating, well, why would you go beg him if you're so well in business with Beyonce or whoever, whatever names? It's just fluffery.
Yeah.
You're just fluffing yourself. Please, dog. Again, Ouija, we love you. We love Chapter 17. Hex.
Much love.
Cannot wait for Stalewind.
Yeah,
bro.
Man.
But this dude is a fucknut. And to me, correct me if you disagree on this or add to it, if the dude just stuck with his if I directly or indirect harmony, my bad. I can probably never make it all right, but I've done my best. I've done legitimate work, X on out, etc. Dog, like I said, we've all fucked up. We've all done things. It'd be forgiven and forgotten.
Right.
It's that he skirts so much while fluffing himself. Of course, you think scrubs are gonna forget a jackass like that?
Yeah, exactly. Especially in after that.
Come on now.
And after that, it's like you just said, he could have stuck with that. It would have been fine. But then to double down in a ridiculous way that just completely backhands, skirts around the whole shit. It's
I'm
a fucking
better than you.
It's a disrespectful backhand to the whole fucking Juggalo community. It's fucking disgusting. Like we talked about before filming this shit, it's fucking disgusting. So the audacity to say some bullshit like this, you're better off just deleting the shit before you even fucking commented.
Yeah, and he's acting like he's talking to a bunch of 60, 70 IQ people.
Right, like
which there may be some of.
Yeah, there might be some.
We ain't hating on them, but just to let you know, the average IQ is around 100. It's Forrest Gump, I think, was 89. So just, people ain't that stupid, especially these two.
Fuck no.
Especially dozens of others in my inbox. I've seen comments. I mean, I'm sorry we don't all have receipts that say Alligator Jesus says I'll make this specific, because so many of these things have been pushed through so many hands. Yeah. And that's the crime we see, and that's why we scratch this up, and why it's going on top of 4 pounds of tannerite and being blown into oblivion.
Yeah, I forgot.
I mean, unless you want to give us like $1,000, and even then we'll probably blow it up and send it to you in pieces. It's getting destroyed. That's the thing, is he doesn't realize is it goes on to inadvertently hurt more than, because people buy them, they sell them, they get waffled, then they get sold, then they get waffled, then you just hurt and hurt and hurt people out of their pockets.
That's disgusting.
I think maybe Ouija is, I mean this with all love, but maybe he's really far into the fame and really far away from the fandom at the same time, and doesn't quite remember what it was like to dream of even owning one of these, and how disgusting being a scammer is. Right. Which he admits. He said, what was it? Either purposely or inadvertently, or whatever his words were.
Directly or
indirectly. Yeah. That's a confession. So okay. So whatever proof you need, there it is. If you can read outside of the fluff and the asking for positive comments about it, that just seems strange, Ouija. That's all. It just seems strange. I won't judge anymore, because I understand he's your friend. I do understand a lot of this. Yeah. It's his friend.
Absolutely.
But sometimes we can find out our friend did some fucked up shit in the past and talk with them about it and move on. Yeah. And sometimes we can't. And if you have a fear that maybe you can't, then maybe you should just look for someone else.
Exactly.
If you can, just acknowledge it. Let us acknowledge it, who have been taken for a ride, and then let us move on. Don't try to tell us what we can and can't be fucked over.
Right, and how to feel about it. Like, who likes being told how to fucking feel about something?
Yeah, and say, you need to provide me with this, and that. And while you're at it, give me your positive thoughts.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
That's not how it works.
I know him well enough to know that he's not that arrogant of a guy. Ouija's a goofball. Eric's a goofball. He's a genius writer. He's a very developed musician where he's at now.
Yeah.
He's been making music an awfully long time through Swag Tooth and his solo stuff that he's done with other artists, Baby, etc. He's a well-accomplished guy and all that. And I'm also the king. What do I always say? I even said it earlier today about a song we were listening to on Pretty Ugly 1. If more people actually heard this guy, he'd be selling millions of records.
Oh yeah, easily.
That's and we love that he keeps it jugged to the core like that.
Right.
So one of the last things I just think that we should cover on here real quick is this idea of, bootleg and new metalsmiths and so made a rip-off of this and that. Okay, here's a shirt from Insane Clown Posse from the 30th drop, okay? That's Ghostface. It is from the movie series Scream.
Yep.
The Psychopathic Records on the back is within the font of Scream as well. So if you look at the back of Psychopathic Rida's albums, Outer Space, all wrongs reserved, they say themselves.
That's right.
We jacked your beats, all that stuff, right? Again, 30th drop. But they put their own taste and style on it, and I don't see that as I see it as cool.
Yeah, it's fresh.
And fresh and done in an interesting way, in that it's like a Hatchetman.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Now we have, and I mean this to the core, this is a shirt, and you can speak up for this, I wear this shirt all the time.
All the time.
I have 2 of them for that reason.
Yeah.
This is Ouija Macc's Juff Slayer. One of my favorite shirts in the whole damn world.
Man wears it a lot, folks.
Yeah, and look, he made his ghost face unique by having the tattoos that Ouija has on his face. The hatchet axe instead of the knife.
Yeah.
The Hatchetman on it. The movie style credits of Chapter 17. Shout out to DJ Chunk, Devereaux, Shaggy the Airhead, my boy with that Lazy and Crazy. All of y'all, I love you guys, but I just, it's just with Ouija, I think you need to understand, man, that people are coming from somewhere.
Right.
And that you should hear them versus trying to keep them away with a fencing sword. It's like he's trying to fight an army of mosquitoes with a fencing sword, and the reality is you're gonna get the blood that's true.
Of course.
There's certain shit that's just true.
Yeah.
And you know what? The truth may be that Alligator Jesus has gotten his shit together. He's on the up and up.
Yeah.
He's nothing but a great guy these days. And that's just fine with me. You know how you know that's just fine with me? His work is around my neck that he made in this last year, probably last 6 months. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make this okay.
Yeah,
and all of the people that were hurt by his fakes were directly ripped off, which there are plenty of, again, from our man Malcolm, knowing him 25 years.
Exactly.
Chris Hines, going way back. And we don't want to bore them with all these screenshots.
Yeah, no.
Because look, if you're not going to listen, you're not going to listen.
Exactly.
So, what else do you think? What else do we have to be said on this? I think there's only just 1 or 2 more pivotal things. We're trying to really keep it to the point, but this is important to us for good reason.
Very much and to the point. And of course, Alligator Jesus had so much more in that lengthy apology.
Yeah, I mean, go on. I'll just let him read the rest of it.
All right.
I'll grit my teeth.
Let's see. So going back, it's why Billy Bill approached me after a show and asked me to make the charms and not the other way around.
Dum-da-dum-dum-dum.
It's that reason that we even wanted to offer Juggalos who have worn the same charm for decades the opportunity to get their charms fixed. And at that time, I should note, I was working alone and from home. When I started fixing charms and reconnecting...
Hold on, he said at that time he was working alone and from home, yet he's used the word we.
Yeah.
This boy, Alligator Jesus, David, whatever the fuck, you don't ever want someone like me critiquing your shit Because while I may not type well, I may use poor grammar at times, punctuation, spelling, etc. Jesus Christ, if you can't see through it.
Yeah.
Continue. Now I'm done. You go ahead and finish it.
Let me go back a little bit. It's that reason that we even wanted to offer Juggalos who have worn the same charm for decades the opportunity to get their charms fixed. And at that time, I should note, I was working alone and from home. When I started fixing charms and reconnecting with old friends and family, it was a rush to be propped up in the eyes of y'all and be, quote-unquote, the jeweler. And it also sucks because there were a lot of expectations. I seriously tried my best to please
More
people.
than Beyonce? Just saying. Go ahead.
I seriously tried my best to please people, but I'm here jokingly bantering on a Sunday with a guy about the quote-unquote Burning Man edition charm. What the fuck even is that? I made what I thought was cool and what I thought would be fun to see as a new thing in the community. I hacked it up with a crazy cutting tool and it looks cool. Here I am defending minor imperfections. Well, I'm here to say...
No, this isn't about minor... I'm sorry. This isn't about minor imperfections.
Yeah,
it's about outright robbery, jackery, scamming, bullshitting, taking people's stuff to make your own mold, sending them back the wrong thing, nothing or nothing at all, ripping... No. I just cannot stand... You know what? We're done with this.
Stop it right there! Shut the music down! Shut it down!
Wait a minute!
Shut the stupid music down!
It's the world champion's entrance!
We'll just post it up on the
screen.
I
feel you. We can
He's
do
done.
That. Yeah.
He's done. That's ridiculous. So, fuck you, Alligator Jesus. From Corey and Bryce.
Yep.
Nasty Knuckles and Be the Man.
Yes, sir.
Fuck you. We love you, Ouija. Love Chapter
Ouija.
17. If you need to hate us and block us and ban us,
do what you gotta do, man.
You know,
do it.
it would make me really fucking sad. But still looking forward to Stalewind.
Yep.
Still gonna be, I'll still enjoy it. I'd love to put money into more gear, charms, shirts, merch, shows.
Exactly.
Because he is one hell of a performer. Let me tell you, he really is. We've seen him twice.
Yep.
He's just fire. So it's not personal, man. The only way that it is personal towards you, Eric, is that you seem to be shoving something under the rug that is rather rude to the people who have been genuinely, financially, and frankly, emotionally harmed by this motherfucker.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
Again, it's not like one person got ripped off by this.
Right.
I had to trace it back quite a ways.
Yeah, you did.
And 3 of you went, oh my god, I feel so... I sold it to so... And I'm like, no one's that... We're only trying to find origins.
Exactly.
And 3 or 4 of these I personally tracked down to him. And if he's producing great shit like this now, that's great. Obviously, I own both of them. I'm all about it. Same with why I love that it's on the Jeff Slayer shirt. Hanging on him. Very similar charm and chain here. But sometimes your friends did bad things in the past that you didn't know about, and you either rectify it some way or you just acknowledge it and ask people to move on.
Yeah.
And frankly, I think most people would.
Exactly.
What pisses people off is the lack of acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, I know. I remember for you, that's what pissed. Like, people think I'm always the talk one, and don't realize that you have plenty.
Oh yeah, and just to go on to that about lack of acknowledgement, I think again, just going back to Ouija, not you, and not, even though yes, you shouldn't be swiping, putting it under the rug, but Alligator Jesus himself, and even reading that apology out loud, it feels like a big beating around the bush of showing any acknowledgement of the actual claims that people are saying, and it's so disrespectful.
Yeah, it sounds like a John Gruden apology.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I said the N-word 19 times in an email.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I'm sorry if it did. N-word. Okay. No, I mean, that's how it sounds.
No, for sure.
And he admits fault. I mean, as far as your receipts, Ouija, they're there in his own comment.
Yeah.
Which is screenshotted. I don't think we should get into too much of who's had their comments deleted, who hasn't.
Right.
Because only some of them we know for sure. But one, if not, which one of it was it? Jean or Jane Jekyll? One of the Jekyll sisters I know commented, and I can tell you those gals definitely have collected a thing or two.
Oh,
they've also
definitely
done a lot for charity as well. They've given a lot away.
Yep.
And but no, just read what she had. She or they had to say.
So yeah, it was Jean Jekyll.
It was Jean. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Jekyll sisters.
Yeah, shout out to Jekyll
y'all
sisters.
Are always just keeping positive.
Yes, much positive.
And you always flossing the Cottonmouth Kings always around 420, which I always appreciate about them. They always know when they're that KMK on. Anyway, go ahead.
So Jean Jekyll, she was replying to somebody who was asking, "Where's the scams everybody talking about?" And Jean Jekyll mentioned he's blocked a lot of people for posting them. And then she was replying to someone else mentioning how they like Nick Foster, you know, from New Mel Smiths, and buy jerseys from him, but I haven't seen any actual proof of wrongdoing. And Jean Jekyll replied to that person saying, blocking people that are posting proof kind of makes things disappear though, right? Why not leave the comments up and let this get looked at instead of censorship?
Which, by the way, I want to give a shout out to two homies, and they're homies for very different reasons, but homies nonetheless. First of all, massive shout out to Sean Higgins.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Sean, you got a great new computer today. We are very excited to see what you do.
Yep. With
this YouTube game, Twitch, whatever you may do, and we're here to help you along the way wherever we can.
Absolutely.
And this man is a genius with the clickety-clacks. I'm a voice box. I can do some clickety-clacks, but I'm mostly a voice box and a cameraman. But no, we're really proud of you. And number two, Marshall Hill.
Yeah.
Been great homie. He's, again, like most of us, not perfect.
Yeah.
But done a lot of good business. You know?
Absolutely.
And when he ran upon what Sean felt was bad business or others did, he did the opposite of what Alligator Jesus is doing. And he said, tell me exactly what's up, remind me of what it was, I'll look into it and I'll make it right.
Yep.
And I don't know if you can do that with everybody. You never know it. But to my knowledge, and from what I saw publicly, he really did his best to do whatever was, you know, during a hard time in his life, a package forgot to get sent out or got lost, or whatever the case may be. He went on a tear of how do I make it right.
Yeah, I remember seeing in every comment just trying to make it right, make it right, make it right.
So between him and Sean, we can't speak on, but just, you know, the effort though. That's what we're trying to say is the difference, right?
Yeah.
Between what AJ's doing and the way a guy like Marshall approached it, who certainly hasn't fucked over people like Alligator Jesus has. You know, my guess is he's fucked people out of 5 figures, if not 6.
Yeah.
You know, of course, that is speculation, let me be clear, but you just do the math and it's not hard to get to 5 figures.
Yeah.
So that is what it is, and big love to all the homies. Shout out to the museum.
Yeah.
If you made it this far and actually watched the whole video, extra fucking clown love to you.
Yeah.
So love to the museum, love to the cellar.
Hell
Chapter 17, the moon will rise forever. And fuck you, Alligator Jesus.
Fuck you,
bitch.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Fuck is wrong with